by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
That classified D.C. memo may be released today. I'm Wendy Gillette in New York. I'll tell you why it's so controversial.
It seems like more and more is going on in the Cannery District, and coming up, I take a look at some of the growth the area is experiencing.
Good morning. Welcome to your Friday. It is 6:30, and today could be the day that classified memo about the Russia investigation, which was written by the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, could be released.
President Trump expected to approve the move over objections from the Democrats and the FBI. CBS's Wendy Gillette explains this morning from New York.
Sources tell CBS News that later today, President Trump plans to give the thumbs up to releasing a GOP memo on the Russia probe. The 4-page document, authorized by House Intelligence Chair Devin Nunes, outlines alleged surveillance abuses by the FBI and Justice Department while looking into possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia.
If American civil liberties were abused, then that needs to come to light so that that doesn't happen again.
It's not up to President Trump when the memo would get released. His green light means the White House would send the memo back to the Intelligence Committee, where it would then decide on a timetable. Representative Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the committee, says the memo omits key facts and insists it's a GOP effort to undermine the Russia probe.
It's an attempt to paint a misleading portrait of the FBI and the Department of Justice, and may pave the way for the president to argue that he can fire people, which would interfere in the investigation.
But Republicans say the memo is not politically motivated.
It does not impugn the Mueller investigation or the Deputy Attorney General.
FBI Director Christopher Wray, a Trump appointee, does not want the memo released. The White House spent the day yesterday quashing rumors Wray was getting set to resign in protest. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Now, former FBI Director James Comey weighed in via tweet, writing in part, quote, "All should appreciate the FBI speaking up. I wish more of our leaders would," end quote. So we'll see what happens with that later today.
Yeah, in a tweet.
That's how we do things here in 2018. So, you sent a tweet out this morning about the weather. Why don't you share with us what was in there?
A little bit of snow, a little bit of rain. It's going to be a messy day in Tweet. Looks like we're going to be dealing with temperatures right around the freezing mark for the early part of the day. We have a lot of moisture showing up on radar. We don't get a lot of low-level coverage in southwest Montana. You look at our cameras right now, looks like things are starting to thicken up. That means that the potential of snow trying to pick up as well. We'll see a rain-snow mix at times today. That means roads could be a little slick both east and west of the divide. We're going to go out to the Billion Auto Weather patio here in a few minutes and bring you the latest update. And that's coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Matt. Now 6:33. A man charged with a stabbing incident last month in Bozeman made an appearance in Helena courtroom yesterday. Bond has been set at $500,000 for 20-year-old Jonathan Meyer of East Helena. He's accused of stabbing a man multiple times on January 19th. The victim had been recently involved with Meyer's ex-girlfriend. Police were able to connect Meyer to the stabbing by getting access to information on his cell phone. He was arrested on January 30th in East Helena.
In other headlines this morning, the environmental group Friends of Animals claiming a victory after a federal judge ruled there might be justification to give the bison population in Yellowstone National Park endangered species protection. Ruling goes against the U.S. Fish and Wildlife report that said there were no need for federal protection, even though the bison was declared the national mammal under the Endangered Species Act back in 2016. The judge noted that even though the debate continues over federal protection of the bison, the Fish and Wildlife Service simply, quote, picked a side which is improper. Now, the judge says the agency has to do more research to determine which scientific studies have the most merit. Friends of Animals is protesting the way the herd at Yellowstone is being managed.
And Governor Steve Bullock has promoted multiple apprenticeship programs, and yesterday he saw another one in Bozeman. West Paw Company has manufacturers of dog toys, is a manufacturer of dog toys, and they started the first manufacturing apprenticeship program. The program focuses on injection mold. Anyone interested in learning the trade can become an apprentice at West Paw, even high school students.
It really is introducing to employers and even down like the high school level and folks that here's a great way to get the workforce that you need and make a good living.
Now you can find West Paw products at some of the Bozeman local pet stores like DOG or even online on Amazon. Also yesterday, Montana State University celebrated the naming of its new engineering college. Norm Abjornsen is the most generous donor in the university's history. President Waded Cruzado and the Dean of Engineering of college honored Abjornsen during the ceremony, marking the name of the building after him. Now, he's an alumni of MSU's mechanical engineering program. Graduated in 1960, he's given more than $55 million to MSU.
Also, City of Bozeman growing in a lot of places. One of those areas is the Cannery District. MTN's Morgan Davies takes a look at some of the new businesses coming to the area and why business owners think it's a great place to start doing business.
Development in the Cannery District began about 10 years ago, and it's really turned into a hub for local businesses. But that development is still going on today.
I think as a business owner, it's very exciting to see some growth in your neighborhood or in your district.
Serena Runberg, the owner of Lot G, as well as the Daily Coffee Bar, says that she loved the buildings and the idea of the canning warehouse for a restaurant and hasn't regretted a moment since they moved in.
Growth has exceeded our expectations, and so I think it's going to be a great district for new businesses to come to.
And there are plans in motion for new businesses coming soon to the cannery. Just in the parking lot, you can see the building for a new physical therapy center. The city planning department also received this rendering of a new building that has also completed the necessary steps to be approved.
The way they're building, the way they're doing things are so responsible and eclectic.
It's not just retail that is calling the Cannery District home. There are plenty of offices and more office spaces on the way. Business owners also say they enjoy being so close to downtown. They feel like this is an additional option for locals. Reporting in Bozeman, Morgan Davies, MTN News.
Now, if you'd like to see more of the site plans for the Cannery District, you can visit us on our websites.
$600,000 is now available to help offset the costs of fighting last summer's wildfires. The money is coming from the Montana Wildfire Relief Fund, which was created by the Montana Television Network with the Montana Community Foundation. 81 organizations across the state will receive that money, mainly rural and volunteer fire departments. Other organizations that provided direct relief to wildfire victims will also be receiving money from that fund. MTN matched the first $50,000 in donations.
Hunting, fishing, hiking, those are the most popular activities on Montana's thousands of acres of public land. However, there's another use for some of those wide open spaces. MTN recently spent some time with a group of college students who are using a few acres of public land near Dillon for a truly unique geology experience.
Welcome to one of the largest classrooms in the state of Montana. This public land near Dillon is a geologist's dream. Large, sparse, and best of all, available because it is public land.
This place is ground zero for educational value in public lands. It's a special place, and because it is available to all the people, it allows upwards of 27 field camps, including international field camps from Oxford University and other places, to come here and experience this really unique and special place that we have here in Montana.
On this day, students from the University of Oregon were working on a mapping project, in groups and alone, a situation geologists have to face every day.
It's been pretty interesting, both physically, socially, everything. It's a really interesting place. It's really difficult, but I've definitely learned more here than I have in any other course.
That bridge is back to being lower class.
First, it seemed very simple. They were just boom, 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 and then you start walking around, and it's definitely challenging. It's really cool to see the structures you see in a textbook in real life and get to take some strikes and dips and figure out what they're doing underneath.
Field camps have been going on for decades here, and unlike sitting in a classroom, charts, notes, theories, and scientific concepts all come together in a little taste of geologic reality.
What I see when students come back after field camp, and this is my own experiences too, when I was a student, they come back with a new perspective. They kind of learn how to think on their own. It's not a classroom thing. They've had to come out here and they make their own mistakes, and then they fix them, and sometimes they don't fix them. But basically, they learn so much kind of internally that they come back and they're geologists.
Public lands are a sure thing, that we know that conditions are such that we're going to be able to come out and have access to these public lands. And it's another value of the public lands that people commonly don't hear about or think about, and that's the educational value of the public lands.
Oh, okay. But when you're...
Chet Lehman, MTN News, north of Dillon.
Now, while students from around the world have to come to Montana in the summer to use this special classroom, Montana Western students get to use it year-round because of the school's one-of-a-kind curriculum schedule known as Experience One. And what a great opportunity
So
that is.
cool. Great
Thanks
job
to
on that.
Dr. Thomas and the group out there allowing me to tag along here a little bit.
I have a feeling you had a pretty good time at work that day.
I learned a ton. It was
I
so
bet you
cool. Yeah,
did.
it was very amazing. So
That's
loved it.
awesome.
It was good stuff.
We do have to take a quick break. Here's a little preview of what's coming up on Montana This Morning.
Raising awareness for the #1 killer of women. I'm Danielle Nottingham in Fort Worth, Texas, with how doctors kept missing one woman's heart attack symptoms.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS This Morning, how some drug companies are allegedly keeping cheaper generic medicines from entering the market. And before the Eagles and the Patriots face off in the Super Bowl, Michelle Miller and Mo Rocca face off. From American history to famous locals, a battle over whether Philadelphia or Boston is the true super city. What do you think? See you at 7 o'clock on the dot.